Spoiler alert, spoiler alert. Today is the season finale of Advocate NXUMALO's brilliant cross-examination. I wasn't ready for it, but by the end of today, NXUMALO completed his cross-examination. Like, he completed it. But guess what? I'm here for you. We're going to break down the highlights of today's court session with Advocate NXUMALO and the ever so talkative, ever so avoiding answers, and also King of Squads, Baloyi and Brigadier Gininda. So, you know what? Let's get straight into it. Accused number 1 was late to court today, but soon after he arrived, the proceedings commenced and they continued from where they left off yesterday. So let's get into it. Have you liked the video? Please like the video right away so you don't forget later on.
Okay, thank you. Brigadier, is it correct that there were some investigations that were done in relation to the measurements, that is the height, the elbow, and the shoulder level of the accused person, that is accused number 1 to 4 in this court, before court?
Yes, by Lieutenant Colonel Mangena, my lord.
Who requested such investigations?
It was me, my lord, and it was in conjunction with him in trying to establish. I'm not so sure who would have initiated it first, my lord, but at the end it was common understanding that the accused perhaps could be measured to see if he can bring them closer to the shooter, but that exercise was fruitless, my lord.
So, if you say that exercise was fruitless, you mean that the accused person from whom such measurements were conducted, he could not be placed at the crime scene?
No, I don't mean that. He was No, I don't mean that. What I mean is, at the end of the day, my lord, he said to me, he is unable to say with definition, definitely to say accused 1, for example, fits the profile of the shooter, or even accused 3 to say in terms of his measurement, he fits the profile of the shooter or not. And he explained that in my recollection, in terms of the hand, moving up and down. But he's more equipped, my lord, to explain. But all I'm saying is that at the end of the measurement, he wasn't able to say to me, I can include or exclude any of the accused as the shooters.
Same conclusion was reached in respect of my client, Mr. Mapis.
Well, it was written all of them, my lord, 1 to 4, my lord. Those were the accused were measured.
My favorite part of this whole Enegwani that makes me laugh every single time they talk about it is that when they did the measurements, Mangena and Gininda over there, they went to each of the individual prisons. I mean, they even went to Kalagagusha, okay? And when they got there, accused number 5 said, you want to do what? You want to measure me? Don't you dare. Accused number 5 refused to be measured. And Lieutenant Colonel Mangena said this on the stand, which I thought was absolutely hilarious because, hello, what did he actually say? I would love for accused number 5 to be on the stand to answer this question. What did he say? Why did he refuse to be measured? And you know what? This is also a lesson on your constitutional rights. They just can't be storming up in the prison and asking to measure you. Okay? And I think we have a skewed version of what is possible or what the police can do to you when you're arrested. You still have your rights and you still can say no, okay? Accused number 5 also refused to give them fingerprints after he was arrested, okay? I remember I'm sure saying this at Boxburg. What do you need his fingerprints for? So this is absolutely hilarious, but what is even more an on goal for the defense here is the whole lead investigator saying no, none of the accused, okay, could be placed based on those measurements as the shooter. So who is the actual shooter? Kelly Kumalo? I don't know. I'm just asking. Because if the 5 accused, well, the 4 accused, because they did measure number 5, if the 4 accused are excluded, and we'll assume number 5 is also excluded, then, and there is a body, a deceased person, SENZO MEYIWA, may he rest in peace, then who is the shooter? Because it still remains, they need to find the shooter. And how did they bring this docket? How did they bring this docket to court if they don't know who the actual shooter is? They've pinned it on accused number 3, but their forensic evidence, as Gininda likes to say, cannot actually prove he is the shooter. Isn't that something? This is the South Africa we live in. Also the South Africa that is open invitation to Nigerians to this country. But you know what? I'm not there. Make sure to catch that video on my other channel. I definitely want to hear your reaction to, this new South Africa, Nigeria. We're going to have Nigerian product. You know what? Let me stop talking about it. Let's get back to the SENZO MEYIWA trial. Let's continue listening on.
On the 20th of July 2020, Lieutenant Colonel Mangena, he proceeds to Cleveland police station, where he booked out the exhibit, that is a firearm, which was booked in a SENZO.
Yes, I'm aware he did, my lord.
Did he tell you that he was going there on the 20th of July 2020?
Yes, he told me, my lord.
Where were you on that day? Can you remember?
No, I can't remember, my lord. But what I know, I was not with him when he went to book out the firearm.
Do you know why he had to book it out on the 20th of July 2020?
For examination, my lord, because analysis at that stage, accused 3 had been identified, Cleveland case had been identified, and furthermore, he had already, through my request, done the examination of comparing the exhibits of this Cleveland case in relation to this case, my lord. And I recall him, and there's a report, an affidavit that he gave me, which said he is not finding sufficient marks, so he needs the firearm. And that is how he ended up now going to Cleveland to recover the firearm with the purpose of doing further examination, my lord.
Brigadier, Lieutenant Colonel Mangena did not request you to go to Cleveland police station to book out this firearm. He did it out of his own frolic.
No. He was requested by me. Okay. Yes, we spoke about it, my lord, but there was an understanding that he will be the one going to pick up the firearm. So that was the understanding that we reached.
Is there anything, Brigadier, that made you not to go there, to go and book it out and take it to the ballistic unit of the...
No, there was nothing, but there was also nothing wrong in my view, my lord, for Colonel Mangena to book it out himself. It was simply an exercise of limiting many hands so that the chain of evidence is limited, my lord, because I knew what we're dealing with.
At the ballistic section of the Forensic Science Laboratory, did anyone knew on the 20th of July 2020 that that firearm was there? Do you know? You don't know?
No, but I don't know, my lord. Well, if you say anyone, Colonel Mangena worked for the ballistic section, so he knew. If the question is anyone, he is one of the persons that I spoke to, and he knew that he was taking that firearm there.
Except him?
No, then my lord, I think he's in a better position than to explain it, or someone from that side. I wouldn't know, my lord.
Did he tell you that he had completed his investigation, the test on this firearm?
Yes, when he was able to link it, definitely, my lord, he did tell me that he has linked it, he has concluded his investigation, and that he'll be taking now the exhibit back to Cleveland. I think it was the 27th of July, 2020, and that is the day where now, because I knew he had completed his investigation, that then I said I would meet him there in order to receive, after the processing has been done, this firearm is an exhibit in this matter, my lord.
Did he tell you when he had finalized his investigations?
Yes, he told me, my lord. This is what I'm saying, or just said now, that he informed me, and then he informed me that because he's done, he will then be taking the exhibit back to Cleveland police station, and that is why I asked him to meet him there, and indeed I met him on that day, my lord.
I mean the dates, Brigadier. Did he tell you the dates when he had finalized his investigation?
No.
He did not?
No, my lord. It was the communication is, I am done. So that's why I'm saying the sequence of events, my lord. First, there's a request for me, by me, to him, to say we have now identified accused 3 under this case number, this is Cleveland. Please compare these exhibits under Cleveland with our matter, because it's a person of interest. That part is done. He gets back to me and say, I found insufficient markings. I need the firearm, to actually do further tests. Then the Cleveland part of him going there then kicks in. When he is done, he didn't say I've completed this thing 1 hour, 2 hours ago. That's not how the communication said. He said I've concluded my investigation. There is a positive match, and obviously we discussed the issue of me getting the ballistic report. And then in that discussion, he then said I will be taking the firearm to Cleveland because he was done with the exercise. And that's when I said to him I will meet him at Cleveland police station, my lord.
There's a statement which was sent in as Exhibit L2 of the record. It's A6 in the docket.
A6.
A6.
Statement of Silepe. Constable Silepe.
It's a statement by A. Sefulna Romotweli. Is it correct, Brigadier, that you told this court that you have been in charge of this investigation since 2018?
Yes, 2018, the 12th of November, my lord. That's correct.
The statement by this person reads as follows. I'm a warrant officer stationed at Provincial Investigation Unit. Maybe before I proceed, Brigadier, do you know this person, this warrant officer?
No, my lord. I think you will see that in that statement it was made before my time. That's why it's even the index is right at the beginning. So I do not know this. But I do know there was a consultation with this warrant officer with the state. So, but I do not know him. If the question, do I know him in person? I do not know him. And when this affidavit was disposed, it was before my time. It's the first investigation team.
He says the following at paragraph 3 of the affidavit. On 2014-10-27 at about 9, I visited a crime scene at house number 13511, First Loras.
Yes, I've got it. You can carry on. I see that.
Paragraph 4. The incident of the shooting happened on 2014-10-26, but I visited the scene on 2014-10-27 at 9. When I arrived at the scene, were ballistic expert Captain Mangena and a photographer, Warrant Officer Mtlatlo, who took scene photos. Captain Mangena took exhibit of the spent cartridge that was found on the door frame. No one tampered with the scene while I was there. Photos and exhibits were taken in my presence. That is all I wish to state. The statement is signed by the deponent and it is commissioned by Sibonelo Mkhize at number 2C Author Avenue, First Loras. So, Brigadier, you said you don't know this warrant officer.
No, I said I do not know him. In other words, I never worked with him, but I'm aware of his statement and the consultation. That is how far, if we talk about knowledge. But other than that, I do not know him as a person. I never worked with him, my lord.
When you are doing your analysis of the investigations, did you go through this affidavit?
Yes, I went through it, my lord, and there was no basis of what is contained in the affidavit.
What do you mean, Brigadier, if you say there was no basis in
Well,
what
my
was
lord,
contained in the affidavit?
Firstly, because it was refuted by Colonel Mangena when I consulted with him. Secondly, my lord, and I'm saying this is based on the general knowledge that I have. When you discharge a firearm, the bullet goes in front. In other words, to the direction you're pointing the firearm. The projectile will either go out on the left or right hand side of the barrel, of the firearm. Now, how do you find a cartridge in the same position in which the bullet is going to? It's impossible. It's not practical. Even if you watch these things on the TV, you'll see that the firearm will discharge cartridges either on the left or right hand side, depending on the firearm. Then the projectile itself, the one that is now discharged, that is hitting the target, will go then to where the firearm is pointed. And you are then likely to find the projectile where it was aimed if it doesn't go through. But I've never seen in my investigation experience where you find the projectile as well as the cartridges in the same direction. You will find the projectile in the body, for example, if it was intended to hit the deceased, and cartridges will always be picked up by crime scene managers and take photos on the crime scene on the floor, not on the place where the projectile or the bullet was aimed. I've never seen that, my lord. I've seen crime scene photos, even on this case. If you look at the crime scene photos, you look at the projectile found on top of the cabinet in the kitchen, the damaged one that was on the floor. I've never seen one in my whole career where you find a bullet point sitting found on top of the cabinet in the kitchen, the damaged one that was on the floor. I've never seen one in my whole career where you find a bullet point sitting with the projectile. In other words, it was aimed there, it shoots, it hits the target, be it the door or whatever, and then the cartridge, because the cartridge, it's a spend, is the back part of the bullet, also going to the same direction. I've never seen that, my lord.
Did you interview him at any stage?
He was interviewed, my lord, during the consultation with the state. That's the part I've said, that it was during the consultation with the state. That's how far it went, my lord.
Brigadier, did you, as the investigation officer, interview this person?
But for what purpose, my lord? I don't understand the purpose of interviewing him. There is an affidavit, it disposes it, it's in the statement. You follow that investigation, then the ballistic expert, someone who's qualified, refute it because his name is mentioned. Then there's a consultation. So I'm not so sure what would have been the purpose of me interviewing him, because it is clear what he's saying, it's contained in his statement. Then there was a consultation with him subsequent to that.
Get clarity on the contents of the statement.
My lord, the statement...
Additional statement from him.
No. You see, that's the my lord. That's why I said the purpose of investigation is not to create your own evidence. The statement speaks for itself. It is not for me to change it, because on what basis do I say now he must change what he alleges that he saw? I'm not an expert. I was not there. I'm simply indicating the supporting evidence that I could have found. If there was supporting evidence based on my experience, investigation, and the expertise of the ballistics expert, of course, then I would have supported him. But I said I found no basis because it didn't make logical sense. But it is not for me now to change what he has said, because that will be the distortion of the truth.
The consultation between this person and the state, do you know when that consultation took place?
No, I don't recall the date.
Don't recall.
No, I don't recall the date, but it did happen.
I don't think I've ever heard the Brigadier deny a South African Police Services member as he is denying this one. Why would he deny him? So here's the thing. The thing that stands out the most to me about this statement is that this warrant officer says he arrived at about 9 a.m. and Mangena was there. Mangena profusely says he arrived at 11 a.m. I remember that. So this is interesting. If he was there at 9 a.m., why is Mangena saying he was there 2 hours later? Is it to conveniently say he wasn't there when warrant officer says he was there? Warrant officer says Mangena got the cartridges. Brigadier Gininda says that isn't true, that's nonsense, it's not possible, yada, 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 yada. Long speech about how Mangena is the expert and this warrant officer is not. But I believe he has a gun license, no? South Africa, does he not have a gun license? Does he not have the basics of a gun training? I don't know. I'm just asking. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. This just gives me spidey sense. Okay, this just stands out. Why is Brigadier Gininda denying a South African Police Services member? Why? That's very strange. Very, very strange. Whereas throughout this entire docket, every police officer's testimony is taken as valid, okay, and endorsed. But this one is a hard no. This is interesting. Let's put a pin on that. Let's continue listening on as Advocate NXUMALO goes into another statement. Let's hear what he has to say.
There is another exhibit, Brigadier. It's exhibit LLL4 of the record. It is a request for comparison. Sorry, it's a request for IBIS comparison. It was addressed to Captain Makula of the Forensic Laboratory, South African Police Service, Pretoria, from Major Bayat on the 23rd of February 2015.
I'm aware of
We are aware of that.
I'm aware, yes.
Okay,
It's under Cleveland case. It was made under Cleveland case 96 of 2015. I think that's what you are referring to.
Yes.
And Alexander case, yes, I'm aware of that.
Briefly, the contents of this request reads as follows. Hereby application for IBIS comparison of the firearm recovered as per Cleveland case 96 of 2015, and with the following cases. Tsakane case 205 of 2014, Phosphorus case 636 of 2014, Phosphorus case 176 of 2014, Phosphorus case 65 of 2013, Phosphorus case 103 of 2014, Actionville case 102 of 2014, Actionville case 108 of 2014, Tsakane case 518 of 2014, Phosphorus case 129 of 2014, Phosphorus case 331 of 2012. To kindly analyze the request and identify all the incidents where this firearm mentioned above was used. 3. kindly forward the information to Detective Constable Dlamini of Provincial Investigation Unit. It is signed by Major Bayat on the 23rd of February 2015. So, Brigadier, is there any report that you received or that was received in respect of this request? Because it also involves the case that you are dealing with in this court, Phosphorus case 636 of 10/2014, in which you are the lead investigator.
Yes, so my lord, firstly, before we go to the report, so maybe let me just deal with the report. There's no report. When I inherited the docket, there is no report that talks to this insofar as the outcome of this request in the docket. That's the first part. The second part, Constable Dlamini, and I've said this before, my lord, at no stage, if you look at the history of this docket, was he the investigating officer or assigned to look into this matter before court. There were different investigators in this matter, but he was never at any stage part of this investigation team. And the investigation team, insofar as they are concerned around this period, the docket indicates that they were not aware or the suspicion that even this firearm may have been involved. So one then has to wonder why people are not relevant to this matter are making inquiries, and the investigators who are involved are actually not aware, not even making any comparison. Because if you look at 636, there is no such request, and that is docket 636, which was under investigation. They did not make a request. Even accused 3 was not on site. They were not aware of the firearm or even the suspicion that is involved. Hence, there's no request or even a ballistic report. Even this request, my lord, you will never find it in 636. It's attached in docket Cleveland 96 of 2015.
Did you, Brigadier, as a lead investigator in this case, consult with the members who were handling the Cleveland case in order to find out about whether there is such a report or not?
No, there isn't, my lord. So maybe let me deal with the first part. Yes, I consulted with the two members,
Yes.
Constable Dlamini and Masondo. But I've got the docket. Other than consulting with them, I've got the original docket of Cleveland. There is no outcome report, even in the docket itself, insofar as what they requested with regard to this matter, 636. And I also consulted with ballistic. I took it further, my lord, to say, there is this request. What records do you have on your archives insofar as what was requested? And there was none. And they gave a technical explanation as to how their system works, my lord. And because this question arose even during the course of my investigation, when the firearm was now linked to say, this firearm was seized in 2015 under Cleveland case. It was brought to attention, and when it was at the ballistic section, why was it not picked up for the offense that occurred a year earlier, in other words, a couple of months before? And it was explained to me. I think Colonel Mangena is more equipped as to what difficulties they had. Hence, he needed the actual firearm to test the bullet that he fires in relation to the bullet that was found at the crime scene. Because in this matter, my lord, there were no cartridges that were found. So yet the testing had to be based on bullet to bullet, not on cartridges. So in other words, my lord, what I'm saying, insofar as the matter that is before court, Phosphorus 636 of 10/2014, there is no report. There's none that was found, filed in the docket, both this Cleveland case and the Phosphorus case 636 in relation to this matter. Insofar as the matters that they were investigating, they found ballistic reports and matching and so forth and so forth. But in relation to this specific matter before court, there's no outcome of the analysis done, my lord.
Exhibit J. Exhibit J is an affidavit by Warrant Officer Amanda Yvonne Steenkamp. Did you have sight of this affidavit? Did you go through it? Did you read it?
Not only did I read it, my lord, we went through the same exercise with Advocate Mnisi the last time. I don't even want to go far insofar as Mr. Ramsipil. The last time we dealt with this exhibit, it was when I was under cross-examination by Advocate Mnisi.
Insofar as your investigations, maybe before I go there, did you interview these witnesses?
But which witnesses, my lord?
The witnesses that are contained in Exhibit J.
My lord, I think I dealt with that explanation.
You can repeat it, Brigadier. The one who's cross-examining now. I want to
Yes.
understand.
Yes,
Please.
I dealt with it, my lord, so I'm going to repeat it.
Yes.
That the people we dealt with have indicated it was Mzansi Unfiltered, Thokozisi Twala, Madlala, the mother, and I've indicated, yes, yes, and then I indicated as to why we could not interview Miss Kelly Kumalo, my lord. Makaleni has passed on, my lord, so he could not be interviewed, my lord. And there was also a consultation with the state with these witnesses, my lord.
There is also the sixth witness called Sipiwe.
Yeah, but if you look at the sixth witness, my lord, I think if you look at the last part, he is really not assisting with identification. That was my understanding. But I do know that there is a sixth witness. But at my understanding, I don't think he assisted with any form of drawing the identikit.
How did these witnesses meet, Captain Amanda Yvonne Steenkamp? Do you know?
No, my lord, it was before my time. I can only refer to what is contained in the docket. I was not part of that arrangement.
In terms of your investigations, what is the description of the motor vehicle that was used as a getaway car?
It's a VW Polo.
Do you know the registration number of that vehicle, which was used as a getaway car? You don't know?
No. There was no registration number given, my lord. The closest thing that one could work on is that there's an indication in the statement of Sifiso Zongo Pabeni that it could have been a hired vehicle. And the closest car or hiring company that we could get, which indeed places accused 5, in the hiring of a vehicle, but not on the date of the incident, but in the around, I'm not so sure how many years apart or months apart, but it's not on the day of the incident, that he was hiring cars from a certain company, and at some stage he was even given fines hiring or utilizing a VW Polo vehicle, my lord.
Hired car?
Yes, the hired car. I'm talking about the hired car, my lord. What we could not find is the records of...
Hired car?
Yes, the hired car. I'm talking about the hired car, my lord. What we could not find is the records of this date of the incident as to whether what the record says, because the company became liquidated. So one was now, speaking or trying to recover files in a company that was non-existent. So we could not get records of the date of this incident, except to say, indeed, he was hiring cars on regular, in certain times through this company, and also through the investigation with the traffic department, he was picked up driving one of these vehicles when he was fined. So that was part of that exercise, my lord, in trying to find a vehicle that may have been used on the date of the commission of this offense.
In which company did you conduct your investigations?
I forgot the name, my lord, but it's there, my lord. It's in the exhibit of the Metro, Mr. Matlo, I think, from the RMTC indicates to that effect, but I think it's, but I can get to the name, my lord. I just have to get to that company, but it's contained in the statement of the RMTC member, my lord.
When was it hired?
My lord, I don't recall the date, but it's contained in that statement. I think the statement speaks for insofar as the company, but the records as to what are the hiring dates, we have one. You'll have to get into that, my lord, so that I place the correct dates, my lord. I don't know them from the top of my head. It was not on the date of this incident, my lord. So that must be clear that it's the vehicle was not hired during the date of this incident. It's further up, my lord. I just don't know the date.
My lord, may I request for an adjournment for the Brigadier to look that statement, because it is important for me to go forward with my cross-examination.
For how long should I adjourn?
Brigadier, how much time do you need?
Mr. Matlo, my lord, testified. I'm not sure whether his statement was ended up, because I'll refer to that statement.
Yes.
Unless he testified, perhaps then
Yes.
we can, if that statement was ended up, I'm not sure if it was ended up, because if it
Yes.
was, then it will be part of the court's...
Yeah, I will send it up.
For 15 minutes, my lord, yes.
Okay, 15 minutes.
Thank you.
You can tell Advocate NXUMALO has reached the end of his patience with the brigadier. He cannot do it anymore. At one point, the brigadier says, but I dealt with this already. And he says, repeat it. Okay, repeat it. Because this is cross-examination, honey. We're going to repeat it because I need that information. Okay, how about that? And the brigadier says, okay, fine. So I'll repeat it. Wow. What a spoiled, rotten brigadier. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Why does he have a problem with answering questions? I mean, it is cross-examination. Did he think he was there to file his nails? Did he think he was at a spa? No, you're in court. In court, you're going to be asked questions, and you might be asked questions over and over again. I mean, we saw Sibanda do that to Bongani Ntanzi, asking the same question 465 times, which was overwhelming. And then we didn't know that Sibanda was an actual doctor, student. Okay, but now we know. Now we know. Okay, but I did a slow motion, okay, of NXUMALO when he's finally had it, okay, and he just puffs out when the brigadier is going into a long explanation of a very, very simple question that he asked. This video is already too long, so I'm going to end it here. We covered Mangena. I think he should have, it would be interesting to see where NXUMALO will go with this in his arguments, because I liked where he went with the Mangena questions, okay, and the Cleveland Ibis, okay, the warrant officer who said Mangena took cartridges. That I want to see where he goes with that. Then we have Steenekamp. I'm not sure what the point of that question was, other than one of the witnesses, well, Makaleni has passed, and that, well, that the brigadier didn't interview. Yeah, I'm curious to see where he was going with that. So I guess we'll find out during arguments. And then the getaway car. The getaway car has caused, NXUMALO to say, you know what, let's adjourn. Let's adjourn. I'm done listening to this man. Let him go find the information. This will give us a chance to have a break and have a breather. So I appreciated that. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you on my next upload. You know the house rules. Like, comment, subscribe, share. You know it. Thanks for watching.